No, she's here. Oh, God, you're fast. Okay. Anyway, coming to you live from the city that thinks it's the capital of Canada. It's Toronto. Welcome to the Midweek Late Night Show. Hey, everybody. Hello. And to get this party started, I'm going to welcome my second chair, the one, the only, the Velvet Duke.
Hey everybody, welcome to the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is Midweek Late Night Show. Unless you're on the West Coast, then it's earlier than that. We're hoping UK has tuned in tonight so they can have coffee and laugh upright, so they can hear an interview and maybe some trivia too. Kelly, I throw it back to you for the Midweek Late Night Show.
Oh, thank you so much, the Velvet Duke. Thank you. How are things in the actual capital of Canada, Ottawa? How are things
in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, the center of the political universe, where we have 7 layers of police here just to make sure nobody has fun, and they are working overtime.
I'm just gonna let my dog out because this is what happens when you're recording at home.
You.
There we go. There we go. Bye, Dolly Parton. There we go. Yeah, my dog's name is Dolly Parton. That is
not Doggy Parton?
Not Doggy Parton, Dolly Parton.
Straight up.
I gave her 2 choices. When we adopted her. I looked at her and I said, "Hi, Joan Rivers." I got nothing. I said, "Hey, Dolly Parton." She looked right at me. So I was like, "That's your name. That's your name, friend."
As long as she doesn't think your name is Jolene, it should be okay.
We'll work on it. Velvet, who is our show not sponsored by this evening?
Oh, no. It is absolutely sponsored by Consumer Distributing. Consumer Distributing, it's like shopping directly at the Amazon warehouse, and it was marvelous. It absolutely was. Fun fact, they did have 217 stores across the U.S. at one point. Back to you, Kelly.
Did they really?
At one point.
I thought it was just a Canadian thing. That's fascinating. There we go, friends. Each month on the Midweek Late Night Show, of course, we are sponsored by a Canadian company that doesn't exist anymore. And I loved Consumers Distributing. You went there with this big catalog. Think like the Sears catalog you get at Christmas. You had a piece of paper and you'd fill it out and you'd give it to somebody, and then down a chute popped all the boxes that you wanted. It was the best store. I miss it so much. I really do miss it. All righty, let's now move over to the headlines. We'll get in a time machine and we'll go. It's just a delight. It's really a delight. You never saw behind where the boxes came from, though. So it's a slight mystery. So there we go. But we're going to get to our headlines tonight. We're diving into the lighter side of the news because, of course, if we went into the actual headlines, we'd all be crying right now because things are sad. But there is some light, there's some levity to the news, so we're going to get to it. Here we go. If you're a fan of the TV series The Golden Bachelor, which I was, it was such a great twist on the Bachelor franchise. They took folks who were a lot older, and they gave them a second chance at love, which was great. But I don't know if you heard, after 3 months of marriage, the couple from that show, they're getting a divorce. Awful. Yeah, they're getting a divorce. Super sad. In actuality, when the husband asked for the divorce, the wife heard, "Are you passing the roast?" But he said, "I want a divorce." They didn't have their hearing aids in.
Oh, no.
I was trying really hard, everyone, to think of things that sounded like the divorce, and I thought the roast sounded good.
You gave me the rose at the ceremony.
That was hilarious when I wrote that at midnight last night. So, anyways, let me go. Let me go. Okay, here we go. All right. Speaking of divorces, a UK law firm rather, accidentally divorced a couple that was married. This happened a couple of days ago. A couple in the UK, they'd been married for 21 years, went to go talk about possible separation, not wanting to cut the ties completely, a possible separation. And the law firm mistakenly filed divorce papers, which is it's irreversible. They can't go back. They are now divorced. So I guess the couple shouldn't have gone to the law firm of Curly, Larry, and Moe. You can call them tonight at 1-800 nyuk nyuk nyuk. Yeah. All right, that one fared better. And finally, friends, if you live in the city of Toronto, be prepared for our entire transit system to go on strike in about a week. No buses, no subways, nothing. Nothing will be moving. Of course, for good reason. They want better wages. They want better job security. That totally makes sense. But if you, I took a poll on my way home of people on my subway, and they were like, "Oh, they're not already on strike."
Oh, no.
Service sucks, is what I'm saying. Velvet knows. Yeah.
So they're trying to live up to Ottawa's transit service.
Anyhow, friends, those are the headlines. There we go. Velvet, I'm going to bring you back up for a quick little moment here.
Bring it back on.
Yeah, Velvet, what is your word of the week?
My word of the week is beef, which stands for bros erotically emo fighting. If you've paid attention to pop culture at all the last week or so, you can see that there's a lot of love being thrown around. They call them diss tracks. It's dat tracks, that track over there. Beef.
I love it. I love beef. Well, not like arguing, but roast beef,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
eat beef.
Oh, are you asking for a divorce, Kelly? Is that what's happening?
Never. It's never happening. All right, friends. Joining us this month on the show, we're going to start off with our special guest, doing a bit of trivia to get things started. Our guest this month is a comedian and actor and writer and just all around awesome soul, who I met at the height of the pandemic doing stuff online. I have to say, it has been the brightest spot in going through what we've been through in the past 4 years, is making new friends. We've got her here for some trivia and then some interview questions. Let's bring her up. Give it up, everyone, for Lindsey Loon. How's it going?
Hi. Good.
Excellent. As Velvet and I are on the other coast and we're here in Canada, more of a Canadian thing is to ask about the weather. How is the weather in Burbank today?
In beautiful Burbank, California, right here in Los Angeles, it's sunny. It was definitely what you would expect from LA today, which has not been true the past few weeks. It's been a water world. The weather has been crazy day to day. We've had like flash flooding levels of rain.
Oh, no.
But today was blue skied and beautiful, light breeze. Lovely. Thanks for asking.
Oh, you're so welcome. If you could just shoot that our way, that would be amazing. It is like Vancouver here. It is so rainy today. Oh my gosh, very rainy in Toronto. And it kind of goes with the theme of our first trivia question. So what this portion of the show is, it's two strange Canadian facts. And what I'm about to ask you, Lindsey, both of these questions might be true. They might both be false. One might be true. One might be false. You don't know. You don't know, but we're going to see. We're going to test your knowledge. Velvet, feel free to chime in too if you have any thoughts. Here we go. Fact number one, strange Canadian fact number one. Might be true, might be false. Let's see what you think, Lindsey. It is illegal to water ski at night in Canada.
That's so weird. I'm going to say it's true.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you
absolutely true. You're only allowed to ride moose at night, not water skis.
It's true. You're right, Lindsay. It's absolutely true.
Wow. What?
So here's the deal. According to section 250 of the criminal code, which is my favorite section of the criminal code is 250. It's not, I'm kidding. Towing a person on water skis or a surfboard or any other object behind a vessel between 1 hour after sunset and sunrise is an offense that could face you up to 6 months in jail or a fine of 5,000 Canadian.
Oh my God. Is that so that you don't dump bodies? What are they?
I don't
What
know.
if you're water skiing at night?
An hour before sunset.
Oh my God.
It's the only time that towing is illegal. Otherwise, they're like, yeah, do that.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, that's a thing. That is a thing.
Wow.
All right. Question number 2. Here we go. Again, this might be
Lindsay,
true.
sorry, Lindsay,
Yeah.
this is the first time we've got it right. Like, even
It's true.
Kelly, who knows the questions, like we like do not get these right. So thank you for being here.
Yes.
Bringing a twist. Maybe you'll be 2 for 2 now, Velvet. Maybe
Maybe.
we'll see. All right. So here's the second one. Strange Canadian fact. It is illegal to scare His Royal Highness the King in Canada. You cannot scare the king.
I think it's too vague. I'm going to say that's false because what is scaring someone?
Velvet?
I don't know. Like, I think scaring would just be bringing up reconciliation. Would be like, so I think for that reason, probably it might be true. I don't know. I don't actually know the king well enough to know what he's afraid of.
Right.
I guess you could tell him that he's accidentally divorced. That's a legitimate fear if you're British, right?
You miss Lady Di.
So Lindsay's saying false. Velvet, you're going with?
Yeah, I'm going with false as well.
It's true.
What? What
Yeah.
does that even mean?
So here we go. Section 49 of the criminal code, which is Velvet's favorite section of the criminal code. It says it makes it crystal clear that scaring the king is a big no-no. If you willfully alarm His Majesty in any way, you could be charged with an indictable offense and serve up to 14 years in jail.
Oh my God.
So, Velvet, we have to cancel our Halloween trip. We're not going door to door at Buckingham Palace.
Oh my God.
Everyone is going to go as Camilla, and he's going to have to pick the right one.
Isn't that nuts? I don't know.
14 years.
Now it says, well, he's in Canada. So maybe when he's on vacay, he doesn't want to get spooked. I don't know.
No prank.
Megan wants back into the family.
We had her for a hot minute. We had her and Harry here for a little bit. But there we go. That's our weird Canadian facts.
Wow.
Well played, Lindsay.
Those are
Well
weird.
I love this. So Lindsay, off the top, how are shows going? What's the vibe in California right now? Where are you performing these days?
Yeah, I performed at the Ice House a couple weeks ago, which was really exciting because it's the
Awesome.
oldest continuous running comedy club in the United States. That's over in Pasadena.
Very cool.
And that was a really fun show. I've got another show coming up this Friday at the Hollywood Roosevelt in Hollywood. It's a really fun theater because it's downstairs in the iconic Roosevelt Hotel, and it's all like red velvet and like gold tassels, and you feel like you're in an old-timey circus. It's kind of like a round theater. It's really fun, and the lineup's going to be really good. I'm on a lineup with a comedian that I absolutely love, Rosalie Mayu. It's run by Jimmy Shin,
Nice.
Tom Arnold, and Daryl Hammond are on the lineup, and it's just
What?
be a lot of fun. Yeah, from Saturday Night Live, and then Tom Arnold from Tom Arnold.
That, exactly.
It's a really good lineup. I'm really excited to be on it.
That is so cool. I love that. What do you have any pre-show rituals? Any things that you've got to do before each set, or things that you do not do until you're done?
I do. I actually clear some time and try to focus my energy, and in advance, I say thank you to the audience. So I have this kind of private ritual that I do, and it's really a form of prayer. I just, thank everybody internally for coming out, and I feel like the gift of their time and their attention, and I imagine kind of beat by beat how things would be in a best case scenario. I sort of visualize it. I had a really inspiring comedian teacher when I started a little over 5 years ago, who told me that she would run her whole set soundlessly. That was how she would practice. That she would, and it actually takes a lot of attention, because it's so easy when you're not speaking to kind of have your thoughts sort of shift off. So I try to do that. But my real ritual is that I just go to as many open mics as I can. It's just open mic, open mic, open mic. Who will listen to me? I just won't shut up for a week before a big show. I'm just like, a lot of open mics. Yeah.
I love that. I really love that. And that's one thing about the time that we met, where doing things virtually was, for not every comic, but for those of us who gravitated towards virtual, I love the ability of doing like 8 sets just by going from like Zoom room or wherever you were, just from, bit to bit. I'm curious, how do you feel like doing stuff virtually helped your comedy, if anything? I know for me, with all the technical glitches, it got me to slow down my speech, which was actually a benefit for when I got back to doing stuff in the same room.
Yeah, I that's a great question, Kelly, because so many people feel really negative about how the pandemic influenced their comedy, and they were so longing for live audiences, that I know a lot of comedians who just didn't perform, and that blows my mind, because for me and for you, we were constantly in those Zoom rooms practicing, and also, there's a different kind of crowd work that you do when you're performing to little boxes. You're not without an audience, it's just a different audience. I found it a really good time to work on writing.
Yeah.
And to really play with different ideas. Also, the stakes were much lower. There were so many things going on, which is funny, because people who didn't participate were like, there was nothing going on during the pandemic. I was like, kidding me? There were mics every day. There were shows every day. There were people starting up their own show series. I had a show series. I was producing shows. You were on some of my shows. I was on some of yours. And there was, it was really fun. And also, you've said it, you've absolutely hit the biggest point for Zoom comedy, was being able to connect people all around the world, and being able to meet new people, and also connect with really old friends. I mean, I had people I hadn't seen in 15 years that popped up at shows, and you're kind of like waving at them from your little box to their little box. And obviously that's something you could never do in a real show, a live show.
Exactly.
So I think there were a lot of ways in which it was a really helpful bubble. And for me personally, I have naturally such horrific stage fright. Really, really paralyzing stage fright. People are like, "Oh, how bad is your stage fright?" I'm like, "No, this sounds like a setup." How bad is my stage fright? My stage fright is so bad that one show I found myself in my car with my hands on the steering wheel, ready to speed out of the parking lot, but my hands were sweating so hard I couldn't hold the steering wheel. I mean, I thought I was going to pass out. Vomiting stuff, like my body just, but more than anything, it was like I would lose my damn mind. I mean, that actually happened one show. I was so scared. I said, I'm going to the bathroom. And it was like one of those stories, like the kid in the 1940s, his dad went to buy a pack of cigarettes and never came back. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom, guys. And then I was in the car, like ready to run away, like a cartoon villain, you know, like stealing off.
Oh
Um,
no.
but I didn't do it. I turned around and I got back, and I just made myself perform. And I went to a doctor and mentioned that that I just would go nuts before shows.
Yeah.
And they gave me a prescription for a beta blocker, which is a kind of it's a kind of medication that actually older people and people with heart issues use. It kind of calms your heart rate and it slows down the physical signs of stress. So your body stops being stressed
Oh.
out. And then in a reverse way, what they've found with a lot of people is that because your body's not freaking out, the little thoughts that are chattering have
Mhm.
nowhere to go. So you're still crazy, but you're not going to do anything about the crazy. And your mind is like, I'm crazy. And your body's like, no, I'm not, dude. I'm totally fine.
Oh
And
my
then it
gosh.
like talks you into thinking you're okay. So I used those for a little while. Honestly, I haven't used them in so long. I have like a full bottle somewhere in this house. Like, I don't even know.
You
I
need
just
to
feel
like
it.
have that as your merch.
Here's my drugs. I'll do a little pill giveaway. I'll just throw them out into the audience. Be like, these will chill you out.
Exactly.
You don't
I'm in
save
Los
money
Angeles,
if
there's a lot
you
of
order
dispensaries.
early. It's that you get pills as you come in.
Yes, exactly. I'll throw them like sardines to dolphins, just
Oh my gosh. Get like one of those like t-shirt guns that they have at the
just throw them. But yeah, I don't
pills
use it
all
anymore.
over the
You know,
room.
I kind of love a
I
little
love
bit
that.
of the fear. But I think that all that Zoom comedy, just to loop back, was
Mhm.
really helped knock that fear out of me, so that just the pitch of fear that I used to get, I don't hit that anymore. When I'm freaking out, my
Yeah.
freakouts are more moderate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's there's something about doing stuff virtually, and some forms of doing comedy online completely prohibited any audience members joining in or even your fellow comics engaging with you, and you are talking into a void and you have to trust your set and sell it like you can hear all this laughter. It did sort of like, as much as this medium isn't necessarily great for like the physicality of doing stand up, it does put you in a headspace for when you do go on stage, you're kind of like, I have done comedy everywhere. It does not matter
And in the
anymore.
void. In the
No.
great nothing. No, that's a
Exactly.
really good point, Kelly, because also there's a moment of comedy that, like, it's kind of like every year of comedy, there are new things that kind of like, this is such a complicated thing.
Mhm.
It's like every little bit of time I do this, I realize there's so much more I don't know, because I didn't even
Exactly.
have a sense of all the things I didn't know. And now it's like, I know, all I know is that I don't know how much I don't know, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So, and one thing that is really that I've come to kind of love a little bit is the moments of quiet in performance. When
Mhm.
it used to terrify me if people weren't laughing the whole time. I was just like punchline. I was living one punchline to the next. Like, oh please, please laugh, please laugh. And now I'll kind of make a little bit of a meal of it. If I think that like there's a punchline that they'll like, I'll like tease it out a little bit. And
Mhm.
that moment of hearing people listen, which before I would have been panicked by the silence, because we've had situations of you're just doing your set and you have no idea what the reaction is. You
Right.
just trust what you're saying, and
Yeah.
the little butterflies of thought that pass through and make things more alive and interesting, and those moments of connection with the audience, and
Mhm.
you're just fully there and acknowledging that you don't know everything that's going on. You can't know everything that's going on. And
Yeah.
so if you're going to just randomly pick an opinion, then why not pretend it's going amazing? So yeah, talking to myself for several years with the Zoom community,
Yeah.
I think helped to build some kind of confidence for sure.
Definitely.
I
And
said
I
that with
really,
great confidence. I said that you
yeah.
guys, your Canadianness is catching, I guess. some kind of somewhat confidence. No, you guys are great.
No, and like what I love about how stuff has continued through Plauzzable or again whatever service you tend to use for your entertainment, I just love that this is like bringing it to you directly. Because some people, you mentioned the stairs at the club you go to, that might not be an option for some friends. So I'm hoping like slowly that'll sort of break apart people's traditional ways of like getting their entertainment. So I think we're on the forefront of something new, Lindsey.
Yeah. This is good stuff.
That is my hope anyway. One question is to skew just a bit serious before we finish. With everything that is happening in the world right now and with all the tensions and the awfulness of what's going on with our friends in Israel and in Gaza, I'm curious. I know here on the East Coast, there's a lot of like merging of culture shows to show solidarity and connectivity with each other. Is that happening on the West Coast? Are you guys doing shows like that?
I haven't heard of them. I would love to be in a space where it felt safe to kind of laugh and cry together just with the shared humanity.
Yeah.
I think that things are very splintered here in terms of people having very, very strong political views on both sides, and even bringing people together to just agree that, to just agree on the shared human horror is hard enough. To get people to come together and laugh about it, there's one comedian that I heard of trying to pull a show like that together, and I was just wowed, and I really wanted to go, if not participate, definitely support. But it fell apart because it was so difficult. Maybe in other East Coast US cities, maybe in other cities, maybe in other parts, maybe there are things going on in LA and just communities that I don't know about. But unfortunately, like it's definitely changed the set that I do in terms of it's just so overwhelmingly sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I laugh hysterically as I cry. Yeah. That's how I express the humor of it all. Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, I certainly think it's something that when I see the show posters, I try to share it because I just like that we're trying to find something to build on to maybe get to a better place sooner than later, So
yeah.
Indeed. Where can friends find you online to catch you at a show, be it in person or maybe occasionally online too, if you still do that? But where can folks find you on socials?
Linktree, link.tr/Lindsey Loon, and it's Lindsey like Lohan but not, and spelled with an EY as Lindsey's should be spelled, LANDSEY, Loon like Looney Tunes. So it's just Linktree/Lindsey Loon, my name.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you joined us on the show this month.
Thank you guys, and a pleasure meeting you, Velvet Duke.
You did so good on the trivia. I'm so impressed. All right, Velvet, close us off as you do with our 2-minute wrap up, everybody.
All right.
Here we go.
Thank you for joining. This was Midweek Late Night Show. Unless you're like Lindsey on the West Coast. Thank you for being so good at trivia in a country that you've never been in. I didn't know you couldn't parasail, water ski, or what the hell. You can't scare a king that shouldn't even be here. I like the lighter side of the news, being all about divorce. I want to say if you're in Hollywood, go to see Lindsey. Not spelled the Lindsay Lohan way, but all of that is okay. Remember that we are here virtual, that there is a ritual. Have silent sex, SETES. The Midweek Late Night Show. We'll see you again here on Plauzzable. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic, Velvet. Thank you so much.
That was great.
Thank you all for tuning in. You can catch the next show in May. Stay tuned onto Plauzzable. There are so many great shows happening on Plauzzable, shows and mics you can participate in. So definitely register if you have not already done so. And we'll see you next time, everyone. We'll see you in May when it's gonna be May. That's a bad impression of Justin Timberlake. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.